Hi everyone and welcome back to Art Club with Ali. So I know not everyone is excited to be back doing online learning and it's a very difficult time. So I thought I would bring Art Club back for you, and in these next few weeks we are going to focus on drawing animals. And the first one I've chosen is a horse. So I'm going to show you how I drew this horse on my iPad, and you can easily do it in pencils and pencil crayons. So I hope you enjoy. Bye! Hi everyone, so today we're going to look at how to draw a horse. So as you can see, I've started off with a picture and I am going to move this to one side in a second so that we have got drawing space. And I'll shrink him down so I can see him. And I'm just going to put him over here. So now I've got space on my canvas. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pick a lightly coloured, odd coloured pencil. So as you can see, I'm using this weird green colour, and I'm going to use that colour to draw my outlines of my shapes to define my horse. So the first thing I want to start off with is the body right here. So we're going to start off by looking at the body, and the body is sort of an oval shape. So we're going to do that oval shape to begin with, and I'm pressing on nice and lightly. So now I've got my oval shape, I can start building up my shape. So I can see the leg at the back is sort of a triangle, and I've got a thinner triangle at the front. Now we're going to have a look at the neck. So let's have a look at the neck shape. It's sort of a long curved triangle. So let's start off with a straight edged one first, because we can always curve these shapes out. And again, the head itself is another sort of triangle shape. So now we're starting to build out the features of the horse, and I know it doesn't look like it right now, but it will eventually look like a very, 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 very majestic horse. So let's have a look at the legs. So the front leg here, I'm going to put the little knee on it, and it kind of goes down, and then we've got another leg that sort of sticks out behind it. And then we can finish our back leg off. So we've got another rectangle here, and then one that comes down to meet the ground. And then we've got the leg behind, again, that meets it like this. So now we've got our basic shapes, and we can start to build it up a little bit before we go in with an appropriate colour, which in this case is brown. So I'm going to start to have a look at some of the features. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in for you so you can see a little bit easier. I'm just going to make my horse picture a little bit smaller. Now obviously I'm creating this on an iPad, but if I was doing this in person, I would just lean in closer. It's just to make it easier for you to see. So now I can start looking at the shapes of the horse before I start colouring it. So I can, starting at the neck here, I'm looking at that shape and I can see it actually extends down past one of the legs. And now I'm going to have a look underneath the body, so I can see the body kind of droops and goes down like this. And then at the neck where it meets, I'm looking and it's got a bit of a curve in the back. So as you can see, I'm using the shapes that I've already created to help me get really accurate features on this horse. Now the head kind of goes flat and straight out, and then it has its two little ears. And we're just starting to use those guide shapes to kind of improve the shape of our horse. There's its little jaw, and as you can see, it's already starting to take a lot better shape and start to look much, much more realistic. There's its tail. A bit of grass down here. Now what I can start to do is I can take a rubber and I can start to carefully, because I've used a light coloured pencil, rub out some of those guidelines that I don't want anymore, that are going to confuse my eye before I start colouring it in. So we don't need that one because it's behind the leg. And here. And we're starting to really get that horse shape. We can get rid of that joint there. Now, here's where I'm going to start to really bring it to life using my coloured pencils. So I'm going to pick a brown, and this horse is sort of like a reddish brown. So I'll take a reddish brown. And again, I'm going to go back over my outline, but I'm going to be even more detailed with it. Now, I've picked that green colour underneath because it's going to be really easy to hide and blend in to the other colours that I use. And as you can see, this horse is very muscular. And we want to get those shadows and shapes in because that's what's going to make it look even more realistic. We've got to take our time when we're doing our colouring. Now, obviously, I'm not going to pretend that I will be a bit faster than you because I've had a lot of experience as an old man. So this might look a bit easier for me, but I've just taken a long time to practice, and we can smooth out those edges there. Let's smooth them out. And we're starting to get this really, 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 really realistic and effective horse. And all great art starts with practice. So don't worry if yours does not look perfect just yet, because one, nothing in nature is perfect, and two, you have got plenty of time to practice and make it look super awesome. I'm going to get a black now, and I'm just going to put a little mark for where his tiny eye is, very small, just as a guide. So now I can start looking at colouring it in. So I'm going to start with a lighter colour, and it's better to start with a lighter colour and build up. So we're just going to start carefully colouring in those shapes. And I don't want to colour over the lines that I've already done and then not be able to see them anymore, because they're my guides for where I need to put some shadows in. And I can see there's no point when I'm doing the legs in colouring all the way down, because the legs get nice and dark and they fade into that black colour. So I'm actually just going to colour down to where I think it roughly meets. So I'm going to start off and I'm going to do the entire horse in this kind of really orangey terracotta colour. Because then I can build up with some darker colours over the top. So we're just going to colour that in. And then in a moment, we're going to have to really start using our noticing skills. And I know that we are brilliant with our noticing skills. And what I want us to start noticing is where the shadows are. So where the light can't reach, because that's what's going to make it look more realistic. So we've got our basic shape of a horse. And right now, if anyone has learned Stone Age Boy or about cavemen, it looks quite like a cave drawing. And that's not a bad thing. So I'm going to start with the shadows because they really build it in. So we're going to go for a darker brown now. And I can see on the top of the body here, there is a lot of nice, beautiful shadows. So I'm going to go in with my darker colour. And I'm not pressing on too heavy because I can build up colours, and that's going to create tone and definition. So I can see the top of the horse is actually looking slightly darker. We can build in those tones right in its armpit, and then the legs behind are always going to be a bit darker. As you can see, there's quite a strong shadow there. Some shadows where his muscles are. I decided this is a boy, but you could have a girl horse. Who am I to say or judge? Your horse is what you make it. And the neck will be nice and shadowy because the light can't get to it whatsoever. I'm just kind of building up those shadowy shapes to make it look more realistic. Go to the legs. And I'm just constantly looking back at the picture as to where the light is. So I can see at the back here, there's a much darker patch. So I might even go over that in an even darker colour. And then the horse's belly. And I've noticed I've not made his belly fat enough. I'm going to use that darker colour. Just extend it down a bit more. Got his muzzle. If that's what you call it on a horse. A nose. Muzzle. On top of his head. And as you can see, we're starting to really bring that horse to life. We're not worrying too much about all the details just yet, because that's where push a bit, and then it doesn't look as effective as it could. And I'm just going on really lightly so I can create different shades of colour with just this one colour that I've been using. Oh, rubbing stuff out there, don't want to do that. A nice dark shadow here. And the thing with nature is, shadows are actually built up of lots of different colours when you look at them, especially when they're on a coloured animal. So you get lots of browns and reds showing. So we can go a bit darker now. So let's find an even darker brown. Let's go there, and we can start to really bring this horse to life. You can see the shadow on the back legs. It's going to be darker, but I'm going to get it to fade into that orange. And again, same here. So now we're really starting to bring that horse to life by giving it some shapes and shadows. And just like I would if I was using paper, I would move it around. A great tip for you. Don't always look at your drawing from one angle. We've got a bit of shadow here. So I'm just kind of hopping around the drawing now, looking at where the shadows are and adding them in. Got a really nice strong little shadow under the neck. And then the bottom of those legs. Let's get those nice and dark brown. Get the top of his back. Build those shades up. And I'm saving his hair for last. So now I'm going to go in with some lighter colours to really hit the light. So I can see on the back of his little butt, he's got a little bit of light going on here. The edge of his legs.
A little bit of light there. Some shimmery lighting going down his body, where the sun is just hitting his skin, making it really shine on that glossy fur coat. Gonna add a bit more shade to his face. Just building up those layers, and it takes time and practice to do this. But again, don't rush yourselves. And, you know, use as many colours as you've got available. There's lots of colours in nature, and depending on the light, it really changes or how we see those colours. So now we've pretty much got our horse done. So we can add the final details. So we're going to go in nice dark brown. And we're going to put his little hair knots in. Just someone has taken the time to plait this horse's hair. And we're going to get his tail hairs in. And, you know, it doesn't have to be exactly like the drawing. That's the fun of being an artist. We can have artistic license. Get that in there. Put a bit of muscle in. Some definition, and then let's just finish it off with some nice bright green grass. Because, you know, our horse is not floating in the air. Let's just rub that out. And there you have it. So that is a drawing of a horse, nice and simple. So zoom you right in. I hope you have a go yourself, and I'll see you on the next video.
So that was our first art club down. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next week, where we are going to be drawing an animal from the Arctic. It has got a beak, it looks like it's wearing a suit, and it loves to slide on its belly. I wonder if you can guess what it is. And I will see you next time. Have a great weekend, and I look forward to seeing you at Art Club. Bye!